What do you think is the number one question I get asked about the Big Four firms? Yeah, it's money. So, my name's James Whitaker, and I'm the founder of Big Four Career Lab, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what you might expect to earn when you work at one of the Big Four firms. Now, first of all, there's 4 different categories of service lines that you might work in when you're at one of the Big Four firms, okay? And they are consulting and advisory, audit and accounting, tax services, and service line which covers everything else. Because, you know, the Big Four professional services firms do have a ton of other things that they offer apart from those 3 that I just mentioned. Things like Deloitte Digital, you know, they actually have their own film studios, which some people find crazy. You know, they have outsourced HR, they have finance specialist units, all those things. They have think tanks. They do loads of online marketing for themselves and for other people. So we're going to talk about all 4 of those service lines and what you might expect to earn, where you might see yourself when you're in your career. Okay? So first off, top of the list is consulting. They will earn the most. And the reason for that is competition. So in consulting, in advisory, the competition is fierce for the best candidates because you have firms like McKinsey and Baines and you have boutique consulting firms that are competing for the same candidates as the Big Four. And so the Big Four need to pay the most to get those best candidates, and that's what they do. Second on the list is that other category that I mentioned. So includes everything, and that's because there's a lot of people in there who are super specialist in their industry. So whether that's digital marketing, whether that's finance, whether that's some other field. And in that service line, your pay is going to reflect your industry rather than Big Four specifics. So you're going to get paid what you might get paid as a digital marketer elsewhere, but typically a little bit higher. And that's because that's what the Big Four firms do. Because you might not know this, but the number one thing that the Big Four firms rely on is relationships. Think about it. They don't have assets such as factories, they don't have patents, they don't have physical products. All they have is their relationships with their clients, with their employees, and with other officers, okay? So that's what they need to build and that's what they need to focus on. So they need to pay the most to these people. And that's what they do. So that's number 2. Number 3 on the list is tax services. So tax services are super specialists. You know, you have tax lawyers, you have economists, you have a lot of different people working in those tax service lines. But it's not as high as those others, but it's still fantastic. It's still the place that you want to be, or the firms that you want to be, if you're in that industry. You know, if you work at a small CPA firm and do partnership returns and state returns and all those different things, you know, you're going to get paid okay. If you work at the Big Four and specialise in something, you're going to be top of that industry, and that's where you're going to earn the most amount of money. And then number 4 is audit and accounting. And why is that? Why is possibly the thing that the Big Four are known the most for, why do they pay the least? Well, the reason for that is simple, and it's this. The Big Four firms, when it comes to accounting and audit, they are top of the tree, okay? They are the ones that the number 1 guy in your accounting class, or the person who's top of your field in the job you work for, they're the ones that want to get into the Big Four professional services firms because they are top of the tree. That's where they're going to have the most opportunities to earn the most, and the most opportunities to flourish in their career. And the good thing about audit, the good thing about accounting, is the fact that because it's so big, because in total, that's more of what the Big Four firms do than anything else, the opportunities for you are massive. So if you want to get to partner, audit's really the place to be because there's more audit partners at the Big Four than there are partners from anything else. So if you want to get to that level, that's what you should be in. And when you get to partner, you earn the same amount independent pretty much of which service line you work in. Okay? So now, what about numbers? What specifically are you going to be earning when you get one of these jobs? Now, if you come out of college and you work in somewhere like New York City and you're in audit, you might expect to earn $60,000 to $70,000. Okay, if you're in consulting, you might expect to earn 80, 90, even up to 6 figures when you're coming out of college, depending on what your experience looks like. If you're in the Midwest, if you're in a smaller office, you might be expected to earn less than that because the cost of living is lower. And also what the companies pay the Big Four for their work in those industries, in those regions, is also lower. And so that's the range you would expect to earn, from somewhere around 60 to somewhere around 100 when you first come out of college, which I mean is not bad at all. Then it goes up incrementally as you get promoted. So when you get to senior associate or senior consultant, you might be expected to earn 70 to 110,000. Once you get to manager, you might be expected to earn anywhere from 80 or 90,000, which is at the low end, all the way up to 130, 140, 150,000. That is possible when you're at manager level, potentially even higher depending on your experience and which industry you're in and which city you're in. Okay? Then when you get to senior manager, that's when it starts going crazy. You know, you can get from, most senior managers will earn six figures, almost all of them, all the way up to double six figures, you know, all the way up to 230, 240, $250,000. You know, if you're in the right industry, in the right city, that's what you're going to get. And then when you get to partner, when you get to director, which, you know, really doesn't take that long when you think of the whole span of your career, that's when you start accelerating to the 200, 300, 400, $1 million a year. You know, seven figures for a Big Four partner is not unreasonable at all. You know, there's so many resources out there online where you can look at this. Look at our website. We've got a really, really detailed analysis of the salaries that you'll get at Big Four. Okay? And we're actually going to do another video on Big Four partner salaries specifically and how they're made up. So, hope that information is good. I hope that means a lot. And I really hope that inspires you to get hired at one of the Big Four firms. And, you know, here at Big Four Career Lab, my company, myself and my team, that's what we do every day. If you're not sure about this process, we can help you get there. We can help you earn this level of income and have a fantastic career. And that's what we do.